Hi, everybody. I am super excited to be here tonight because I am talking about the one thing that I am the most passionate about. So I'm going to wait just a few seconds, some couple minutes. If you are on here and you can see me and you can hear me okay, will you, I'm going to scoot this chair up a little bit. Will you give me some love, give me some heart, something, let me know you can hear me. So I'm just going to have to introduce myself until I can see that people are on here. I see Christy's on here. Hey, Christy. So my name is Shay Knuckles, and I am one of the coaches that are leading this group. And tonight I am going to be talking about nutrition. Now, here's the thing. This is a huge topic, and I have been told to try to keep it 10 minutes and under. So what I'm going to focus on tonight is talking about nutrition and our mood. So food and mood and how they correlate, and to give you some things that you could start working on if you feel like, hey, maybe this is an area that I could use help in. So that is what I'm going to be talking about. I do have some notes. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing just to kind of keep me focused, and on topic, because I'm telling you, this is my biggest passion. I have been in the health and weight loss industry for over 13 years. I have been on a major journey since I was about in college. I have always been overweight. I was always the tomboy, really big into sports, but always overweight. And through my own journey, starting with just, learning about nutrition, learning about, organic and all of that kind of stuff in college. And then my 13 years, I started working as a weight loss coach when I was 22. So just my experience through that, as well as my own health journey. I have been there, done that, tried it, and so I'm very passionate about this topic. I have literally tried it all, from Weight Watchers to paleo to vegetarian to raw food diet, every supplement, every pill. Really, I've tried it all. Dr. Oz, every day I watched him. If he told me something to do, I was doing it. I've even tried starvation, binging and purging, cabbage soup diet. Really, it was all about just losing weight. And when I changed my mindset and more about health and taking care of me, that is when things really started to change, and I got control over it, over that yo-yo roller coaster. So, about 2 years ago is when I started working on the mindset, which we've talked about: confidence, personal development, all of those things. Sorry if you can hear my children. My husband's trying to get them in bed, and they don't like it if mom's not there. Anyway, so if you hear them screaming in the background, I'm sorry. Bedtime's challenging in our house. So anyway, I discovered also macros, and what macros are is your protein, fats, and carbohydrates. And how having those in a particular balance helped me with weight maintenance as well as portion control. So it's not about, following a particular diet. It's not about calorie counting. It's not about all of those things. It's just learning what works for your body. And I believe it's all about lifestyle versus diet, okay? I'm not a big fan of diet, but I will use the word diet like a Mediterranean diet. That's kind of an eating style, but I don't really love diets, okay? I'm not a big fan. But anyway, one thing I want to start off with is, I know that everybody in here, there are different types of eating styles and diets that people are doing right now, whether it's vegetarian or paleo or whatever that might be. My intention is to include everybody, because there is not one type of eating plan that is for everybody. There is not. And we have to stop that comparison game. If your husband or your best friend or whoever tries a particular diet, that doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And also, something that maybe worked for you in your early 20s and now you're in your 40s, it might not work for you, because our bodies change. We have hormones, we have different stresses in our life, environmental factors, and our genetics play a huge role in what works for us. And so really, it's an experiment in finding, what's working for me in this season right now. And you have to be open to trying different things. I've known many people that have gone a vegetarian diet, and felt amazing. I've also known people that have gone into a vegetarian diet and felt miserable. Same with paleo and all of those types of eating. So you have to find what really works for you and know that, there's not one particular diet that's going to work for everybody, or eating. When I say the word diet, not as in like a follow a diet, it's like a nutrition plan. And you have to be open to experimenting, trying new things. So I told you a little bit about my history with weight loss. I was always really about 30 to 40, 50 pounds overweight, kind of depending on, where I was at in my life. I was very active, but I never could really get a control. I was on this like diet roller coaster, up and down. I would gain 20 or 30 and I would lose 20 or 30, and I'd gain 20 and 30 and I'd lose 20 or 30. So I have been there, done that. But one thing that I've seen for myself working in the weight loss industry is, people who follow a particular diet, 85% of people gain their weight back in their first year. 85%. You guys, that is huge. Who wants to work that hard to get to a particular weight and feel really good only to gain it back in that first year? That's miserable. But so many of us go on that roller coaster, and usually it's lose 20, gain back 25 or 30. Lose that 30, gain back 50. It's like it's never ending. So when and how can we stop that cycle? So really, for me, and one thing I love about this group is there's so many layers when it comes to weight loss and nutrition, and knowing that there is an emotional component. There's a hormonal component. It's not just simply willpower, okay? It's not simply willpower. And one thing that I really notice, especially with people that I've talked to and in the weight loss industry, is people are starting off, let's say at A, and they're trying to get to Z. Z is their ultimate goal. And they try to go from A to Z overnight. Okay, that doesn't happen. Like that's unrealistic. If you are used to eating 3, fast food meals a day, or even just, you go through McDonald's, everything's on the go, high fat diet, and you're trying to overnight eat organic tofu, never go out to eat. I mean, that's not realistic. So I encourage you, if you are at point A, focus on what's B, and then go to C, and then go to D. So it's baby steps, okay? You're not gonna change overnight and keep that long term. Yes, you might be able to follow a diet for a short term, but you're not gonna sustain that if it's not realistic to where your life is at. If you're not enjoying the foods that you eat, you guys, that's one of the, I feel, is one of the best gifts that God gave us, is our taste buds and this incredible food that He or Mother Nature or whatever you believe in provided for us. And so food, there's an amazing component to food, but it's, you have to learn to necessarily control that. But, going on starvation, just saying I'm going to eat the same thing every day and just be miserable, it's not sustainable, okay? So start with one thing. So I want you to think about, what is one thing that you could do that, could get you starting on your journey or a little bit ahead in your journey. So I first talk about water, the importance of water. Water is essential to our life. And I'm telling you, more times than not, most people don't drink enough water. So great rule of thumb, half of your body weight. So if you weigh out 200 pounds, 100, take your half of your body weight and drink that in ounces. Okay. So 100 ounces a day is your goal. Now, if you're at 20 ounces right now and your goal is 100 ounces, do not try to do that overnight. It's, again, that A to Z method. So, maybe your first week you're adding in 8 ounces a day. So that's maybe an extra 4 ounces with lunch, 4 ounces at dinner. Like, seriously, this much. You can do extra 8 ounces and just continue to grow that number. Eventually you will get to 100 ounces. Okay. So pick one thing: water. Adding protein with every meal. You should aim for 3 to 4 ounces of protein. I'm a fan of animal protein. I know that there might be some vegetarians on here, but animal protein is the precursor, and it has a component, without trying to get just a lot of scientific details, for our body to convert it into serotonin, or tryptophan, which goes into serotonin. Serotonin is our happy drug. Okay, it's our happy hormone. It makes us feel good. And so animal protein helps with our body's production of serotonin. And a lot of people do not start their day with enough protein. So aim for 3 to 4 ounces of some kind of protein a day. A meal. And this can be, like I said, animal protein. So, leftover meat or hard-boiled eggs, regular eggs, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, a lot of things can go into animal protein, but make sure you get that in. A lot of people do even protein shakes. There's some amazing products out there. If you want some information on what I use, that's what I usually do my breakfast, because I'm an on-the-go kind of person. I work full-time. I've got 2 young kids. I make a shake with smoothie with a lot of protein in it, and I head out the door. So it's so starting your day with some protein and getting protein with every meal. Animal protein, it is the building blocks for serotonin. So it's going to be essential. And that protein is what your brain needs to make those chemicals that affect your mood. So, foods do affect our mood, but also moods affect our food and our food choices. And anytime that you are low, like maybe you're low serotonin, your body's going to crave carbohydrates. And let's talk a little bit about carbohydrates really quick. You've probably heard good carbs and bad carbs. And a lot of times when you are low energy, when you're not getting enough sleep, when you're tired, your body wants that quick energy. Okay, so it's going to increase your cravings of sugar and bad carbs. And I don't really like to even use the word bad carbs. I like simple and complex, okay? So simple carbohydrates are gonna be your white sugars, your white breads, your white rice, your processed foods like crackers, and all of those types of things, okay? So those are your simple carbs. Your body breaks those down really fast. So it is a great source of easy energy. So like, let's say you are diabetic and you have a blood crash, or if you've ever given blood and you kind of get woozy, they give you a juice or something and it gets your blood sugar up because it's quick. But the problem with that is it'll spike your blood sugar to where you're feeling good, but then you get the crash, okay? So a lot of people go throughout their day like this. So they start off their morning, let's say, with a sugary coffee drink and maybe a scone. And so they're up, but an hour and a half, 2 hours later, their blood sugar is crashed. So they're starting to feel tired, lethargic, moody. So then again, their body increases a craving. So they might grab a donut that's at work or something out of the vending machine. Again, spike level up, feeling better, crash. Come lunch, spike level up, crash. So they go through this all day long. I'm sure you've been there. I have felt that way. So getting more complex carbs into your diet is essential. I'm not a big fan of a low carb, no carb diet. It's just eating the right types of carbohydrates. But carbohydrates are not just from grains. They are your fruits. They are your vegetables. They are your legumes, your beans, soy. I'm a big fan of unprocessed soy like tempeh, and your brown rice, your whole grains, your quinoa, those types of things. Those are your complex carbohydrates. So just smart carbs. So I like it not bad versus good carbs. It's eating more of your smart carbs. And again, those complex carbohydrates are another precursor to tryptophan. So those are essential for serotonin production also, which is, again, your happy drug. So, stop that cycle of those simple carbs and start getting more complex carbs into your diet. Another thing I just want to briefly touch base on, and this is a huge subject in itself, is looking at the health of your gut, okay? And I have a lot of history with that, so if anybody has any questions, let me know. I was on multiple antibiotics when I was a child, and I got diagnosed with candida overgrowth at a very